Now everybody's got a hobby. Some folks like fishing, some like hunting. But Hilljack Bob, he's got a real special something he likes to do. He likes to make jewelry, but not the kind with fancy diamonds and rubies. Nope, Bob makes his jewelry out of something special. Something you only find in one place, the bottom of a toilet bowl. Yep, you heard right. This here's a story about Hilljack Bob and his love affair with toilet gems. Bob always said, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And boy did he mean it. See, Bob believed that what folks left behind in them porcelain thrones weren't just, well, he saw them as raw, natural beauty just waiting to be polished up. He'd always say, it's like a diamond in the rough, only rougher. His favorite hunting grounds? Rest stops, of course. All those different folks passing through, each leaving their own unique mark. He'd wait for the coast to be clear, then, armed with nothing but a couple of Ziploc bags and a pair of tongs, he'd go to work. Gotta be quick, he'd say, like a squirrel snatching nuts. Now collecting these gems was only half the fun for Bob. Once he got them back to his shack, the real artistry began. He had a whole drying rack set up in the back, looking like a miniature clothesline for shrunken heads. He'd carefully lay out his finds, each one labeled with the date and location of its discovery. Gotta keep track of the vintage, he'd chuckle. After a few days of basking in the sun, the real transformation began. Bob used all sorts of homemade concoctions to clean, polish, and preserve his treasures. He had a secret recipe for a special varnish made from pine sap and possum grease that gave him a real nice shine. He wasn't just making necklaces and earrings either. Oh no, Bob was an artist. He made sculptures, he made wall hangings. He even made a dang old welcome mat out of the stuff. It's like stepping on nature's own shag carpet, he'd say. Now you might be thinking, ain't nobody gonna wear that stuff? And you'd be right, mostly. But that didn't stop Bob from trying to share his passion with the world. He'd proudly wear his creations to town, always eager to explain their origins to anyone who'd listen. And believe it or not, some folks found it kind of fascinating. The reactions ranged from disgust to disbelief, with a healthy dose of "did he just say what I think he said?" thrown in for good measure. But Bob, he didn't mind the stares or the snickers. He knew he was misunderstood. They just ain't seeing the art, he'd say, adjusting his prized fecal fedora. He even tried to sell his pieces at the local flea market. Didn't have much luck, though. Seems like folks weren't too keen on wearing something that used to be, well, you know. He did manage to offload a pair of lucky turd earrings to a tourist once. Claimed it brought him good luck at the dog track. Now the highlight of Bob's year was the annual county fair. Every year he'd enter his finest creations in the arts and crafts competition, dreaming of the day he'd take home the blue ribbon. One year, he submitted a particularly impressive piece. A life-size bust of Elvis Presley crafted entirely from, well, you know, he called it the King of Rock and Roll movement. The judges, bless their hearts, didn't quite know what to make of it. They'd never seen nothing like it before, and frankly, they hoped they'd never see nothing like it again. After much deliberation and a whole lot of air freshener, they decided to create a whole new category just for Bob's masterpiece most unique use of organic materials. Needless to say, Bob's creation caused quite a stir at the fair. Folks lined up for hours just to get a glimpse of it, holding their noses and shaking their heads in amazement. The local newspaper even ran a story about it with the headline, "Local Artists' Crapster Piece Divides Community." But Bob, he didn't care about the controversy. He was just happy that folks were finally starting to appreciate his art. And besides, he figured, if life gives you crap, might as well make something out of it.